Hey Libra, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. General readings. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't catch your wavelength or storyline here, check your other major placements. We're starting off with oracle cards for an intuitive vibe of where we might be going, and then we'll move on to more traditional tarot spread. All right. Okay. So we have inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So something that you're devoted to, something that you have a strong dedication to, remain dedicated to that. It's tuning into the portal of your heart. It's tuning into something within. So sometimes, you know, our intentions can be clouded by fears or inertia, something like that. So this is, you know, just getting back in touch with that thing, that with something, some part of yourself that you've been devoted to, you've already put a lot of work into, you're already there, but the vision may be clouded, the ideas may be clouded, what you want maybe, that original intent may have gotten a little muddied. So returning to some sort of original intention, purer intention, there's a sense of safety in this, in coming into this intention, a sense of like spiritual connection and safety, right? We're talking about a temple, but I feel like with the temple, we're talking about a structure in our life, habits, patterns, some sort of structure in our life that sort of protects our intention, or protects our mission, protects our what we're devoted to, some sort of core essential part of ourselves. So this is, you know, returning to a routine or a pattern, or reestablishing a pattern that sort of protects this core part of you and this this pure intention, right? So there's like a pattern or a repetition or a habit, and staying with that habit because it does protect some sort of thing that you highly value, that is essential to your path and yourself. So so it's like a structure you build. It's a structure you build that protects the core of faith, the core of some sort of core part of yourself. So remaining devoted to that, do not get distracted from that pattern, and it's like keeping some sort of, this pattern keeps a channel open. So this could be a regular meditation practice, or working on some sort of creative skill regularly, or any kind of skill regularly, and continuing to do that, continuing to maintain the structures that allow for the spirit, right? It's like being in bodies, being incarnated, like maintaining this structure so that we can continue to live, literally, and fulfill our purpose here. And then we have boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? I feel like there might be a lot of things pulling at you. I personally am not much of a routine person, but there are certain routines that are incredibly important to me. So I limit my routines to just the really important ones, and everything else is flows and whatever. But there are certain things that cannot be given up, because they are there to protect some sort of core part of who I am, and keep that energy energetic, keep that energy there and not depleted. So there may be things coming in that could deplete your energy, breaks in the routine that might throw you off a little bit, things that want your attention, and want to pull you away from whatever this structure or routine is that helps you maintain your inner equilibrium, and helps you maintain your passion for life, and helps you maintain that. So there might be things, and these aren't like nefarious things. It's not like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna take her energy, I'm gonna steal, I'm gonna disrupt her life. It's just life comes in and disrupts things, and this is saying, okay, this is a fine disruption. I understand that this is part of life. We have these things, but I'm also going to continue with, you know, my workout routine or my meditation practice or whatever it is. I'm going to maintain that because that actually gives me equilibrium and more ability to handle whatever is being thrown at me. So I can see a possibility here coming up for some routines to be broken, and just for you to maintain the most crucial routines that really keep you on your path and keep you in touch with your essence here. So establishing boundaries, you know, it's okay to get out of the routine, but just make sure you bring some part of it with you. And then you may need to be like, well, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm not going to do, you know, just whatever anybody asks of me. So again, we have this maintaining your center, maintaining your true goal, maintaining your devotion to something within you. And even as sort of different things try to pull at your attention, making sure that you remain devoted to this inner light, this inner path that you have, and staying focused on that. Distractions will be coming in, establishing boundaries, making sure that you're being clear, you know, what amount of time you're willing to give to something and what amount of time they're just going to have to suck it up, buttercup, and deal with you having to, your devotion to something else. So remaining devoted and setting up good boundaries with the things that want to pull you away from that. Libra, this is your past. Oh, that's interesting. This came out as I was setting up this, this popped off the top. So I find that very fascinating. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Some of these, looking familiar. All right, we have Seven of Swords in the past. There's been maybe some sneaky, slightly shady behavior, someone trying to sneak off here, being silently going about doing what you want, not engaging with other people. This could be lies, this could be withholding information, this could be you, this could be somebody else. So somebody here has withheld information on purpose, and was quite sneaky about it, was something that you had counted on, something you thought you could rely on, was in a way taken from you, or there was a sense of somebody disguising themselves as something pleasant, as something. There's a sense of just sneaky behavior and disguises and withholding information, maybe even some lies, and yeah, withholding some information and trying to, and in fact getting away with it. So in your past, in your recent past, there's been some less than truthful, less than forthright behavior here, or communication here. In your current situation, we have Seven of Wands coming after Seven of Swords. Seven of Wands, these are both difficult parts of the Kabbalah, the more difficult side of things. Seven of Wands, making space for what you believe in, having a right, feeling like you have a right for what you want, I love this because this is basically these two cards right here. Feeling like you have a right to something. I'm gonna need more water. Okay, hopefully that worked. So we have the Seven of Wands, a choice, a decision to make space for what it is that you want, for what it is that you care about, for what it is that you need. Being very clear on this is what I need and taking action, and feeling like you have a right to move freely in the world. You feeling like you have a right to do what you want to do. So this is taking a lot of strength, though. Obviously, we have this very strong man breaking out of a prison. He feels he's been falsely imprisoned, and he's going to leave this prison. This is, to me, about not letting other people define you, right? Creating better boundaries, not letting boundaries that you like, right? So this is a great boundary, but you need to break out. It's other people have put this boundary in place. And so you're breaking out of this boundary and moving forward in the way that you feel is right, in the way that you feel is just, in the way that you feel you want. So it's this boundary, creating better boundaries, boundaries that work for you. These boundaries don't work for you. So you're getting in touch with what it is you want, remaining devoted to what you want, and creating space for what it is that you want. It's 7 of Wands. So 7 is choosing, making a choice to move towards what you want. And this is going to be about intuition, passion, what you're passionate about, what you're devoted to, and making space for that, and making room for that, and creating better boundaries around that. So I love how that is basically those 2 first cards. Your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. Page of Swords, wanting to learn something. This is our college freshman, wanting to learn about something, wanting to learn. Swords are going to be communication and sort of education. This may be wanting to take a class, wanting to learn something new. And also there can be a sense of wanting to learn how to communicate or how to speak your truth in a way, right? We have the will here, the passion to make space for what we want. And the Page of Swords could be talking about, well, how do we talk about that? How do I say what I want? How do I clearly state, right? We have this boundaries that we're wanting to put up. So how do I clearly state what I want here? So it could be some sort of wanting to figure something out, wanting to understand something, and wanting to communicate something very clearly. And this is what you're thinking about, is how to communicate clearly. And it can also be like wanting to take a class, wanting to go back to school, wanting to learn something, because the page is the student of the suites here. Of the suits. Oh my God, what did I say? That's really funny. The student of the suites. Yes ma'am, I will be the students of the suites. I will learn all of the sweet things. Sounds delicious. What's issue here is 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is, so in the upright, it's in the reverse here because it's our issue. But the 10 of Wands in the upright would be boundaries, would be like, I've done what you've wanted me to do. I've jumped through the hoops you've wanted me to do, but I'm done doing that now. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be released of this obligation, released of this burden. So you are being released of an obligation. It's happening quite naturally. You may still be in a way clinging to the obligation. Like, I don't want to be released of this obligation. It kind of gives me some meaning. It kind of makes me feel needed or something, or connected. But there is this obligation is falling away from you. It's like your kids moving out, your job, they're hiring someone, an assistant, and so some sort of obligation or some sort of part of this job is being taken from you, or you're being relieved of duty in a way. You're being relieved of something. It's no longer a burden for you. So it's almost like these boundaries are being, like, you're not just allowed them, you're being encouraged to have better boundaries, or encouraged to take more care of yourself, or there's some sort of burden here that's falling off your shoulders. You're being released of some kind of burden, and it's very natural. It's not something, you're not having to shrug it off or throw it off. You're being let go, not like you're losing your job, although that could be part of it. But for some of you, maybe that is it. But it is this sense of like retirement, or retiring some sort of role that you do, retiring some sort of thing that's gone on that's been a little bit hard, other people's expectations just kind of falling away. Like, you've made space and everyone's like, oh, whoa, okay, yeah, you need space, don't you? Sorry. It's like you take this step to make space, and sort of the situation itself kind of responds to you and is like, oh, thank you. I didn't realize I was stepping on toes or whatever. I didn't realize that you had wanted this boundary. So in the past, you may have been very secretive about your boundaries and what you didn't like and what you didn't want. You withheld that information, or you tried to get away with something. Maybe you didn't want to talk about it or say anything. And then now you're like, no, I got to say something here. I need to make space for what I believe in, for what I want out of my individual, unique life. And you might be trying to figure out how to do that, how to say that. But you get some sort of boost or some sort of assist from the situation itself, is like, oh, here, let's help you relieve this. Is there something you'd like to say? Is this working for you? And then now's your opportunity to be like, no, it's not working for me. And then they're like, okay, well, let's find something that does. So there's some sort of very natural, generous relief here from a burden that's been going on for a long time. And without effort from you, you're being relieved of this burden. So in your situation, your externals, here we have Ace of Wands, an inspired new beginning. We have a page and an ace here, both of these about learning something, the page about learning something new, and this about experiencing something new. So in your environment, there's a new situation. It's very inspiring. There might be a new creative path. There might be just new inspiration, new insight. It's coming into you, right? We have the Ten of Wands, this effortless dropping of a burden, this effortless falling away of something that's been difficult to carry, something that you may have carried for a long time and it's been hard and difficult, and somehow it's dropping away. And so we have the end of the cycle here, and it's ending very gently, very nicely. And then we have a new sort of cycle here. This might be, the same thing, but better, right? Because in this one, you see the flower that you want and you're taking it. And then here it's just being kind of handed to you. There's an ease here. There's an easy feeling here as far as the ease of this burden going away, of this situation falling away, of this difficulty just dissolving. And in its place, there's something new. There's a new chance, a new inspiration, something new and exciting comes along. Like just as a metaphor, like you get dumped, but then here comes this cutie that's very interesting and adorable, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't have to break up with anybody. They broke up with me. I was relieved of duty here, and then now we have this like cool new thing coming in. I like this. It just comes towards you, and it helps. I mean, I don't recommend going from person to person. Typically, but this is the metaphor for this situation. Something, you maybe get laid off from your job, but then some new opportunity shows up right away. There's a new opportunity right here. So you're going to be relieved of something, but it frees you up to pick up something new or to do something else. And there's a new beginning in your environment here. It's being offered to you. There's, this may have become a little burdensome, but now we have like a new freedom here, a new thing, and it's a lot more inspiring. This old thing, which was inspiring perhaps at one point, has become a burden, and then there's a new inspiring thing coming in here. Two of Wands. There's some technical issues that you need to deal with. Dotting some I's, crossing some T's, figuring out how you're going to get from here to there. You've been gifted this vision. It's Wands again. So Wands are, oh my goodness, you've got 4 wands here. So this is all about creativity, spirituality, intuition, all of that sort of vibe stuff, all of the energetic, vibey stuff. So, and so Two of Wands here, though, like the Ace of Wands is like, hey, cool new idea, lots of inspiration coming at you, cool new idea being suggested to you, cool new idea happening here. And then we go straight from that to Two of Wands, which is like, well, how's that going to happen? How does this work exactly? Okay, so I'm inspired, got this new idea. Maybe I was reading a book, maybe somebody approached me with something and they're like, hey, how about this new idea? And this is you really sitting down and being like, okay, here's my new idea, but here's where I am. How do I get from here to there? How do I connect these 2 dots here? So there's a sense of trying to figure it out, trying to understand exactly how this is going to work. And this is your to-do list. So this to-do list is about, you know, pulling out a spreadsheet, a pro-con list, a to-do list, something about figuring out sort of the nuts and bolts of exactly how is this going to work, exactly what are the rules going to be. And remember, with boundaries and Seven of Wands, you do get to have a say in what these rules are, in how this works, and what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. So it's just, this is just the nuts and bolts of a situation. There's a lot of inspiration coming in here. There's a lot. We have Seven of Wands, 10 of Wands reversed, which is like not having to deal with some sort of old energy anymore. Ace of Wands coming in with some great inspiration. And then we got to take a time out from these wands and all this inspiration and excitement to figure out some nuts and bolts. Okay, well, if I want to go to, you know, Italy, maybe I should, how much is it going to cost? Where exactly would I go? How long could I go for? You know, figuring out these nuts and bolts. There's a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of excitement. And you're really going to go for it. You're going to do this thing. It's very inspiring to you. But this is a moment to figure out some nuts and bolts and exactly what this is going to look like, what the rules are, what the parameters are, what the timeline is, all of that. So figuring out some details for something that's really caught your eye and been very inspiring to you, and you're going to do it. You're going to do it, and you're going to, you know, no one's really going to stop you. You're going to do what your heart calls you to do. You're going to remain devoted to this thing, but you got to figure out how to get there. Possible outcome, Two of Pentacles. So this process may have a lot on your plate. You may end up with 2 jobs for a moment. You may end up with a lot to deal with, a lot to juggle. Again, 2 is, we have them depicted as 2 individuals here, but it is like a sense of needing to combine something, needing to combine the vision with the practicality of the vision, and needing to combine like competing activities. So you might become extremely busy in the future, quite busy, and needing to juggle a couple different things, juggle different priorities. You'll be able to do it. This is always a card of like, yes, you can do this. But I mean, what's cool is one of these is like falling away and just being released. So you don't have 3 balls to juggle. You only have 2. So, so it could be more hectic than it actually is, but one of the responsibilities has, taken its leave here. So you do still have some responsibilities here, lots of things to juggle, lots of things to handle, but it looks like you want to handle this all because there's something just very inspiring. Something's really inspired you and you want to learn about it, but it's going to like create some scheduling ripples and some issues there. And so there's just going to be a lot to juggle and a lot to handle. I mean, you're going to have a plan here. And you got to figure out, this is about integrating the reality into your life, right? This is about sort of planning it out, nuts and bolts. Wait, I'm inspired, but what are the practical ramifications of this? This is we've got a lot going on in our reality here. We have a lot to schedule and a lot to juggle and balance, but we can do it, despite feeling somewhat overwhelmed by the process. But you'll be able to do it. You can handle this. So like this could be like going back to school while still working your job, having 2 different jobs, or a couple different projects going on at the same time. And there just are some practical things, but you need to remain devoted. If these are things you want to do, you need to remain devoted to it, figure it out, figure out how to get it done. And then, yeah, there might be some time of intensity coming up here, busyness. So I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you for your likes, subscribes, and comments, and I'll see you guys in a bit.